we're better off with NEPA, PAC, and I don't know, since the changing they want to make it. In fact, I think that they should just privatize it. Just like we had with the SIM cards.
Yeah.
We're telling a story.
Yes.
Then you cannot buy a SIM card. But what's happening now?
Then-
It's almost for
then before we achieve
for
that,
nothing.
you buy your SIM card first.
First. Before
10,000,
you know.
15,000.
Yeah.
And then you don't save somebody before you buy your
Buy
phone.
a phone and buy Miss Rolla or Motorola.
Yes, you have that Sajem.
You know, Sajem, that you almost climb a tree. Not almost, you climb a tree to get network. It was frustrating because then we don't have a mast everywhere. Just like we're having MTN Max almost in every corner.
Yeah.
MTN Max, Glo Max, ATM Max. You know, so we're evolving, and I think that it should be for the better, not for us to hear that, oh, Naira is having a free fall. What is it? Who poured water on the road for it to have a free fall? We should do everything we can to, you know, make our Naira gain strength again. Because the truth is, things are crazy out there. It's not funny. Things are crazy. And everything is now expensive. To weave your hair as a woman is not expensive. Not that they purchased another hand to weave it. They're not even adding anything. But because the person who is running that business pays bills, right? They buy fuel to power the generating set. So they're going to put all of that in the manpower. So that's why that's why we are where we are at the moment. But wow, fingers crossed.
If you go to your canteen, even within your organization,
Yeah,
the canteen woman has also increased.
of course.
Because
Of
one
course.
tiny parcel of protein,
Yeah.
she will tell you it's 300, it's 400.
And you don't blame her.
You know, so
Because even when you go to the market to cut 1,000 naira, they'll tell you 6 pieces. The 6 pieces is not even.
it's as if they even had a meeting that you shouldn't go more than 6 pieces for 1,000.
And then the piece is not even like it's big.
They almost want to cut their finger.
They almost want to cut their fingers. Because everybody is being affected by what is happening. And we're praying, especially for this electricity tariff. I'm not against them increasing it because everything is increasing literally.
But at least half power.
Exactly. Let's have the value of what we're paying for.
You
That's what
can-
we're agitating for. And I pray
You
that.
can imagine, I have this pay as you go format. You know, my card can last for 2 months.
Right. Even now.
Yes,
Yeah, because there's no electricity,
power.
no power. Oh, yeah,
no power.
no power.
The unit will last for 2 months, and we will forget that I bought unit.
Yeah.
And it's not supposed to be so.
No.
Your unit shouldn't last more than 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Do you understand? 1 month. You know, just the way we use our MTN recharge card. Once it's over, you go and recharge.
So how would they make money? And that's why they don't want to distribute that system, the equipment, so that we will not use it and manage it the way we want.
It's cumbersome.
Really cumbersome.
That's,
Really cumbersome. All right, moving away from that, let's talk about the Edo State. No, before we go to Edo State, good news.
for Edo
Let's
State.
talk about the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, has released the 2024 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination results. Now, according to the JAM registrar, Oloyede, over 1.94 million candidates registered and sat for the examination in 118 towns and over 700 centers across the country. Now, the examination, which began on Friday, the 19th of April, ended on Monday, the 29th of April. Out of the over 1.94 registered candidates, 80,810 were absent. Now, a total of 1,904,189 sat for the UTME within the 6 days of the examination. So I'm wondering, why are they extending JAM examination for 6 days?
Yeah,
Recall that when I wrote, it was just a day. JAM is Saturday, and Saturday it is.
Yes, it's because of the level of malpractice. You know, because the level of malpractice had taken a different dimension. You know, so
My
I
God.
think JAM now had to introduce, you know, breaking the process. using the CBT. And you know Nigeria
It has
is not
always
yet,
been used. I use
they've
the
not
CBT.
yet, they've not yet changed that process where everybody has a system to himself.
Oh. Why? Why?
Okay, look at the number of people that wrote, over 1 million.
1 million,
How many
1.9.
of these centers have up to that? You know, those days when you were not, when we didn't use the computer, it's just one day,
Yeah.
one set of question papers, booklets for all the subjects.
Right.
And English has its own
Separate
separate, but because of the level,
or more practice.
yes, because you get somebody who has 380 over 400, right?
Or somebody having 410 over 400.
Then the person goes to read medicine.
Ah.
At 100 level, you can't even go beyond 100 level.
Or when they finally even made it, because of course once you start with more practice, you're going to continue.
But they can't even make
You can't
it.
perform outside
They
the school
can't even
walls.
make it because some of them might not even get up to 200 level. And you begin to ask, how did this guy?
Scored up to.
Yeah. We were also privy to, we saw it happen. I tell you the system at which they were getting this calls. For example, they go to where they call the Miracle Center. Right? And I was privileged to be a student in one of the Miracle Centers.
Okay.
And so when they put my school as a center, where you have professionals, right? This one is a biology specialist. This one is an English guy, maths.
Mathematics.
So when the question paper comes out, they just share it into pieces. Yeah, you hold English, you hold this, you hold this. In 10 minutes, the answers are back.
Out.
They understand.
Right.
And you see everybody is squaring the same to a particular center. And the child comes out with 380, they study banking.
Like an finance. I cannot calculate.
And when the guy gets into the Bain Tree University,
It's tough.
you see, he can't even
Comes
fly.
tough.
He can't go beyond the 100 level. You know, so I think JAM had to rejig the process, and that's what WAEC is doing now. WAEC is about introducing the CBT, but my fears for WAEC is I don't know how they could how they'll be able to get it right, because not all schools can afford to have computers.
Okay, so I think I align with what you're saying, because out of the 1.84 million results that was released, a paltry 0.4% scored above 300.
Okay.
You see, so it's no longer business as usual.
No.
A paltry 0.4%
Yes,
scored
but
above
not yet.
300.
Yes, that's to tell you that those who scored above 300 were not even more than 100.
At all. And then 24% scored 50%.
Beautiful.
That's like 200 over 400.
Yeah, 200 over 400.
You see?
Then JAM will not
others.
tell you that 150 over 400 qualifies you to the university,
Okay, right.
which is wrong,
Yeah.
because you can't have 180 over 400.
Over
That's
400.
not an aggregate.
That's not.
An aggregate is
200. Yes. And above. It should
Yes,
be 200 and
200
above.
and above. You understand? And that says, okay, yes, you are now ready.
No, 150 cannot even take you to a university
They do,
before.
but it does now.
It should take you to a polytechnic.
It does take you to the
University now?
Yes, they will not tell you to come and do UT. What's it
Okay.
called again? UT.
There's something they call it again after JAM, right? Which is not even necessary. I mean, well, that's another topic for another day. Okay, let's talk about this last one. Governor Obaseki announces 70,000 naira new minimum wage. The governor revealed this while commissioning the new labor house in Edo State on Monday, and he's saying that it will take effect from tomorrow, effective tomorrow. That is May 1, Workers' Day. He's increased it from, Governor Obaseki was the first governor to increase the minimum wage from the federal government approved 30,000 to 40. So from 40, he's now taking it. That was like the percentage. I'm not a mathematician, but it was high. So from 40, they're taking it to 70,000 naira minimum wage,
which is the federal government's benchmark.
which is
The
it
federal
official
government-
now?
Yes, which is the federal government's
Benchmark. Okay.
You know.
Yeah. So
And I see that that is where we are going to land in now.
where
That's 70K.
is it? See, even the 30,000 naira that the federal government was saying, this is some states did not pay it.
Like Kogi State.
Yet, Yahaya Bello, Abi, is paying school fees of unborn children in abroad, not even Nigeria.
We're privileged to have our labor leaders here yesterday, the TUC and the NLC.
Yeah.
And they were saying that what they expect from government is 650,000.
Minimum wage.
Yes.
What's that?
600.
Are we playing?
600.
No, but it's laughable. It's laughable.
650,000.
Okay.
You know, so I try to imagine how possible.
No, as minimum wage, I be as what?
As minimum wage.
I don't understand.
Life here on debt, 650.
See, we should be realistic.
You know,
Right.
but I knew obviously that we will not go beyond 70. You know, and Obaseki has already
Set the pace.
Yes, he has seen it. You know, taken from the benchmark of what the federal government is paying, 70 and above. You know, considering the level of economic hardship that we're going through.
Right.
You know, I think that might just be a benchmark. You know, for states to follow.
To follow through.
Yeah.
And I think that it's going to be a good one. But what I don't understand is, I know about minimum wage. I know that, okay, at the point of entry, even if you're level 0, your take home should not be less than 70. So, but what happens to those already in the system? For instance, a level 8 officer who is being paid salary. We know that the minimum wage is also included in your basic. So what would be for us? Is that going to be, is it for all the workers or just those who are below
Yes,
the
so
level?
those who are below, between 1 and 6. No, between 1 and 7. You know, from 8 and above.
Nothing.
No, of course. There'll be an increase too.
Right.
Yes, there'll be an increase of the difference, the disparity.
Oh,
Do you understand?
yeah.
And the difference also.
So it's
will
going to
add-
affect all
the entire,
positively.
the entire gamut.
Workforce, yeah.
Yes. The entire gamut.
That's
of
a
the
that's a
workforce.
good step in the right direction.
But the money is really
He
small.
granted is even small.
Yeah.
You're saying, but this is where we are. Even with 30,000 euros, we still go to work all the time. We still do the same thing. So according to him, he granted an interview yesterday, and he's saying, "Look, I did that because I know what is happening in Nigeria right now. I know that an angry man is, or rather, a hungry man is an angry man. So I want my workers to put in their best. So when they are fed, when their salaries can take them home, because according to him, of course, obviously, our salary cannot even take us away from the office environment. You know, cannot even take it out of your office, talk more of the gate. You know, I said, I understand their plight, and that's why I did what I did. But some are of the opinion, in Nigeria, you don't satisfy people, you can't. Some are saying, when you have few months to leave office, you want to leave base for the incoming. But I mean,
You see, Lucky, what's his name?
Obaseki.
Obaseki, for me, is a man of who has foresight. And if you see the few things that he's done, legacies that he's leaving behind, you will know, yes, he knows what he's doing. Look at the education sector, for example. He's dropping it there, and it will be a second place to beat any day, any time. Do you understand? You know?
Yeah.
So look at what is happening with Subek.
Yes,
And
super.
compare Subek Edo State and compare Subek Delta State. They are miles apart. Do you understand? Because already there's an international intervention.
Oh.
You know, because the guy is an international man and he has this international contact coming in for him and, you know, supporting, you know, all that he's doing.
Right.
You know, so I think that is what we need, you know, in Delta State as well.
All right.
Yeah, I think these all drop issues that are trending. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at what the papers are saying this morning on Morning Rise. Stay with us.
In the past few weeks, Nigerians have been experiencing intense heat, which scientists say is caused by fuel emission, especially from the use of coal, oil, and gas. This emission results in carbon dioxide that traps heat in the atmosphere, disrupts the temperature, and returns to the environment as heat wave. The call to prepare for hotter days, coupled with existing epileptic power supply, high price of petrol, and escalating cost of solar-powered installations have heightened concerns of citizens, even as some of them recounted their ordeals in the past few weeks.
The issue of this heat is something we cannot tell about because to us, we've not experienced kind of heat since the history of our birth. We were thinking maybe it was climate change as a result of climate change, but with what's going on now, maybe we have done something wrong. Maybe it's God that want to intervene or pay us through this way because it's becoming too much. The experience is too bad. People can't sleep inside, sweat. The whole of my phone was soaked last night. I even left the phone to sleep on the tiles. When I woke up, I discovered that there was water everywhere. Me, I was thinking maybe it was the pure water I kept there that was that there was leakage on the pure water there. But I found out that it was sweat all over my body.
Body, heat rash is one key person. You open the may breeze enter, mosquito will enter. Never not green give us light though. See pikin dey cry. I don't fan tire for night. You just a black like this, so not be color with this one because of heat. Heat won't permit person. solar. Everybody get money. Everybody get money for solar. Now never be first. At least if you afford that one. Hey, you go dey talk about big people wey dey inside motor. Not be me wey dey for backyard. Not be wey dey for backyard. Abeg. Abeg o, una help us. Give us light. We don finish.
Na that we dey o. Abeg o, make una know how una wan take help us o. The heat too much abeg. We no fit buy fuel o. Everything just dey hard for the country. Abeg make una find how una wan take do us now. The heat no be here. For you to sleep sef, now you go even sleep for tiles. The heat for the tiles dey even pass the one you say you dey bed. Abeg make una know how una wan take help us abeg. I use God beg una o.
The heat no be here o. The heat is too much.
This thing that affect us well for Nigeria, heat won't keep people, I swear. Light not even dey come. Person go pay for NEPA bill finish, light not dey come. Just imagine say, even fuel dey cost, everything dey cost, they don't dey give us light. Now during this period, now everywhere dey hot. Person not just see something again, they buy faster, but before you go see self, you go hard. So we need light. Because now light will give us, go make our AC work, make our refrigerator work, everything.
Medical experts said though too much heat was dangerous for everyone's health, infants, children, the elderly, and pregnant women were more vulnerable to heat stress, as dehydration could put the baby in the womb at a higher risk of low birth.
Sandstorm. So these are all natural disasters or natural climatic changes and phenomena. So it's not God that is trying to punish us, it's just the weather that is changing. So I want you to understand that it's very okay to sweat. It is the body's way of trying to cool itself off. So if you're sweating, it's natural. So the body is, once a cool breeze blows on your sweaty body, it helps to cool your temperature down.
She advised citizens to avoid alcoholic beverages, narcotics, and stressful outdoor physical activities to reduce dehydration and risk of suffering heat-related illness. Drink water at regular intervals even when not thirsty. Stay hydrated. Wear light and loose-fitting clothing. Keep emergency kits at home that contain, among other things, oral rehydration salts and thermometers. The medical expert also called for proper ventilation at homes, offices, and schools, and the need to place a water dispenser at offices and schools.
Honestly, it's not fun. It has been very, very, very challenging for each and every one of us. But of course, there are some measures that can be taken to help us manage the heat and help us avoid complications. Some of those are to, stay hydrated, drink. If you have access to cold water and cold drinks, that would be best to cool yourself from inside out, right? Then also avoid dark clothes, blacks, browns. The thing about blacks is that they absorb the heat. So it's try to avoid dark clothes. Wear loose linen, cotton, brightly colored clothes. Then at any point in time, if it's possible, get a shade. Try to avoid the sun, which is typically from 12 p.m. to 3, 4, depending. So try to avoid the sun and look for shade anywhere possible. Then for little children and pregnant women, it is especially important for them to be cool at any time. Try to be hydrated. Let kids wear just their pampers or underwears. Bathe them as often as possible. Try to avoid them playing outside at the sun. And then, even if they are kids, even if they refuse, once in a while you call them back in, give them a cold drink, wet their bodies and all that. Take multiple baths a day if it's possible, even if it's through the night. And then, in case of an emergency at work or wherever you might find yourself, if someone has a heat stroke or someone faints because of heat, try to hose them down with water, any water you can get at any time. Then if you have ice packs, put them under their armpits. It helps to spread the cold, around their bodies.
Some citizens also appealed to the electricity distribution companies to live up to their responsibilities at this time that Nigerians needed them the most, while also calling for government intervention in the reduction of prices of petrol and solar-powered installation.
So they beg government to at least assist us. Make light dey dey. We don tire, we no dey fit even sell cotton now. Everybody dey find wetin cool. So when they come now, they go say they need wetin cool. And I want to see, not me be NEPA now. Ice block now is 1,000. How much you go? How many things you wan use ice block? That thing sef. So I beg make government do something.
NEPA abeg una give us light. E don finish. No only light. Even though say na only the night. I think make person sleep well. Daytime we dey go work. Nobody dey dey house. Dem go bring light. Dem go bring and take. Bring and take. Which kind thing be this one now? Abeg una help us. Oh, e don finish. Nothing dey again. Una help give us light.
We need light and work on the price of fuel too. There's nothing like light in this country. We never had light for 4 hours a day. What they do now is to flash and take. They will flash it on this because normally they say they used to do rationing. Maybe they will ration it and leave it for like 10 hours or so. They will seize it from this area and give it to another side 10 hours. But now they don't do rationing, it's flashing they do. When they just flash it, before 2 minutes they take it back again. Then the other people will flash it and take it back again. So we never experience 4 hours light in a day. Sometimes when they flash it like what they'll bring it again, maybe it will be 4 days time or so. So there's nothing like light in Nigeria, and that's a serious issue compared to this condition we are now, this heat. So the government should try and look into the light issue. At least if there's light, we will have some relief. Because even though there will still be heat too, but at least it will not be up to this level that we are now. So the government should try and provide light for us. That is the basic issue we are facing in Nigeria. And it's a menace at this time of this level of life now. We are in a country where there's no light. Everything is fucked up, everything is down. So they should try and look into that light. If that would be the only achievement Tinubu will achieve for us, this regime, then let it be. We'll bear with him for that.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency (NIMET) has warned citizens that the heat waves can cause dehydration, which could lead to fainting or death, chicken pox, heat rash, cramps, headache, and psychological stress, even as it has called for preparation for more hot days and warm nights. Prevention, they say, is better than cure. The advice has been given. He who has ears, let him hear.
The red joint.
All right, you welcome back, and of course, in case you're just joining us, it's Tuesday's edition of the program Morning Ride, and we are at the sports where we'll be looking at what the various papers actually saying this morning. And joining us as usual is our analyst, Uche Wanze. We'd like to welcome you to the studio.
Good
Good
morning,
morning.
and thanks for
Good
having me.
morning.
Good morning, Ify. Glad to have you back.
Glad to have you, as usual. Yeah.
Where were you when, were you missing in action?
She wasn't here on
Yes,
Tuesday.
I wasn't here last Tuesday.
Yes.
You didn't notice, right?
Okay.
You didn't notice.
Okay.
So just before we go into the papers, there was a documentary that played about the heat wave, and I know that we've talked about it in our conversation on set this morning. But then a documentary played, and we were talking about it. I am Mr. Henry Wanze. Just spoke about the fact that at a point I got confused. I felt like something is wrong with my system because the way I was literally dripping. I said, this is not normal. What is happening? But then it is what it is. And he told me something. Let me hear it from the horse's mouth.
Like I said,
What happened?
there is nothing unusual. What you're facing is there's no need for hysteria. It is the times we find ourselves. The ecosystem has been, compromised. The ozone layer has further depleted. And so what you're seeing is what we keep preaching over the years about climate change. So these are part of the climatic change we are witnessing. I told you, even that of my spouse, I wasn't even sweating that much. And the way she drips, a lot of sweat comes out of her face these days. At some point she said, I think I have to see the doctor. And I said, no.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with the doctor. This is based on what we're seeing now. And when I'm at home, I see myself taking a bath 3-4 times, because of the heat. To compound the situation, there is no power supply for you to even cool off. So there's nothing unusual, just exactly changes in the weather condition, the depiction of the ozone layer. So like in the documentary and every other thing, is advisable, we try as much as possible to hydrate.
Okay.
Try to reduce more on caffeine
Intake.
or carbonated drinks and alcohol, but concentrate on mainly water. Water can save a life.
Right.
Okay, there's no amount of water that is too much for you to consume at this point in time. I know the only inconveniences would be going to the toilet to pee or to pass out urine, but it's better.
And it's better for you to wee.
It's more convenient for the men.
It's cheaper.
To always,
It's cheaper to wee
Yeah.
than for you to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, it's cheaper actually.
Yes.
Yeah, I told Ify earlier on when she also complained about the weather. I said it had to do with the climate change phenomenon.
Yes.
Because the atmosphere, there's a change.
In the atmosphere,
in the
a shift.
atmosphere, yes, from the normal. The world, the polluted world has made the global space.
Caused by us humans.
And yes,
Yes,
caused
caused
by
by
us
us.
humans.
Not by God.
And how did we cause it in a lot of ways? One, evil thought.
People thought.
Yes, yes.
That's a new one.
No, that's a new one added to
What has it got to do with the heat wave?
our usage of
The fossil fuels,
fossil fuel.
and non-biodegradable elements
Yes.
that we burn in the CFCs, we burn into the
Then
environment.
God also sees our hearts.
I don't know about that. The issue of the way we deforest our already environment, that instead of planting more trees, we are destroying all the
Killing
trees.
it off.
We're not planting them. So what do you expect?
We're not planting,
You see,
nothing to cool off.
you see.
That is why I say it's caused by us. So if you say the heart of man, well,
Yes,
Hey,
we're not
because,
be far from
because
it.
instead of you to
Because of the heart of
instead of you
wickedness.
to have shade, I will cut off the tree.
No, I think it's cursed by the fact that people want to now see everybody everywhere. This ego enough here. So everybody wants to sell land. Real estate era. Where will you see trees?
nobody is
What
saying,
you-
listen, that's the
everyone
problem.
is raving
Nobody is saying if the tree is up to about 300 or 400 years, you want to cut it.
Yes.
Fine, plant 2 to replace it.
Want to?
That's what we are saying.
Where? No space.
You must create a space
We
to
want
plant
to
the trees.
sell and make
When
money.
we came to Asaba recent, in the early 2000s or
Yeah.
so, yes, there were trees in this Okmanam Road, mango
course.
trees. From the beginning of that, around that interval, to the Okpanam roundabout.
Yes.
Where are the trees now? Only a few left.
And
And some of them are already aging. So why not start to plant
New
some now?
ones.
But in a couple of years, those ones will come up. Then you can now cut down those
yes,
ones.
that's
the right thing to do.
They're already aging.
They're already aging.
Some have
We
been
know
cut
that
off.
is the right thing to
So
do, but the
those are-
question is on whose land?
So,
There are no lands anymore, no available lands
that are
anymore.
left, people who now go to collect the mangoes, now
Of
sell,
course.
now say 3 for 500
Then
naira.
we'll come to that one. That's another kettle of-
That's another
What do you
kettle
expect
of
them? They are the one that climbed the tree now. And you are sitting down.
Yeah.
It's all right. What
Okay,
else?
so we'll start with the charity begins at home. We'll start with the Pointer newspaper this morning. Pointer has it this way: fuel scarcity hits more states as marketers accuse NNPCL of not supplying. That's the major headline this morning as far as that is concerned. And the local government polls no candidate from backdoor. Statement is attributed to Right Honorable Sheriff Oporiwuri. Says timetable will be out soon. Gets Delta Central PDP confidence vote of confidence. And the Bogdan said alleged abuse of office, Emefiele challenges court jurisdiction. I don't know where he wants the court to sit now. Should they come to sit in Delta State? I don't know why he's challenging that, because the offenses that he committed were within the confines of the Federal Capital Territory. So he need not go anywhere. All right, that's it for the Pointer this morning.
All right, let's move on away from the Pointer. Let's look at the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And on the Vanguard newspaper, the major headline there, boldly reading, is Fare Hike. Travelers, commuters groan as fuel scarcity bites harder. We have adopted new strategy to end shortage, MIMAN. It will take a few days to eliminate queues, NNPC. Task force raids filling stations in Ilorin, once against hoarding, as Lagos government once against creating gridlock on roads. All right, the front strip of the Vanguard, illegal forex trading, court okays EFCC's request to freeze 1,146 bank accounts. $10 billion required annually for 10 years to fix power sector, says federal government. And DSTV, GoTV rate hike. Tribunal stops multi-choice. We also have here terrorism financing. Court chides federal government over shoddy prosecution of Toko Mamu. 2024 UTME JAM releases 1,842,464 candidate results, which holds 64,624. And NFF appoints Finidi as coach of Super Eagles. That's it on the Vanguard.
Yeah, it's away from the Vanguard newspaper. Our next paper for review this morning is the Daily Independent. And the Daily Independent has it this way: Keyamo demarketing Nigeria's aviation sector. Keyamo, that is the Minister for Aviation, is being accused of demarketing Nigeria's aviation sector. Experts have attributed that postulation. All right, and above the master, federal government must invest 10 billion annually for improved electricity. Minister, as senators urge reversal of tariff increase. Kurt orders EFCC to freeze 1,146 accounts of individuals and companies. All right, when you come below that, on the flush left, Obaseki increases the workers' minimum wage to 70,000 naira. Commissions new secretariat for NFC, TUC, and names it after Oshomole. And on page 7, Lagos constitute maiden cybersecurity advisory board in Nigeria. That's on page 5. And 4 killed Others injured as herdsmen attack Enugu community. Okay, away from that, on the flush right, we have pay TV operators have the choice to fix prices. Page 2, bandits kill driver, abduct 2 on Abuja Kaduna Highway. All right, those were the major tips on the Daily Independent.
All right, I think we'll take one more. Oh, go on. Okay, the Punch is next. Petrol hits 800 naira as 240 million liter vessels arrive. 5 tanker vessels offloading PMS at Lagos Port. Independent marketers sell over 800 naira per liter. Black marketers charge 1,200 naira per liter. Motorists groan. Commuters lament rising transport fare. EFCC probes 1,146 frozen accounts for money laundering. The federal government begins fresh bail rounds for oil blocks. Customers panic as CBN bans OPay, PalmPay, others new accounts. Edo workers hail Obaseki over 70,000 naira minimum wage. Tinubu will end economic sabotage, Shetima tells African leaders. A nurse accuses Lagos hospital of negligence over wife and son's death. 1.4 million UTME candidates scored below 200, says JAM. And $2.4 billion forest claims fictitious, says CBN. All right, that's it on the Punch newspaper this morning. And let's go to the next paper.
Okay, our next paper for review is the Guardian newspaper, and the Guardian newspaper has it this way: debt market monopoly hurt Nigerians as fuel subsidy backfires. Okay, that's on page 6 when you open the pages of the Guardian newspaper. Nigeria begs U.S. to repatriate stolen funds. Okay, that's on page 2. African heads of state converse 120 billion US dollars for continent development. And below the photo speak there, 8 million households to pay more for prepaid meters as NEC deregulates sector. Obaseki announces 70,000 minimum wage for workers. All right, I almost said 70 million out there. I know if you would have
I would have relocated to the state.
EFCC gets done to freeze 1.146 bank accounts over foreign exchange crisis. No vacancy in Aso Rock, candidate tells Kwakwanso and others. All right, that's it for the Guardian newspaper this morning. Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll take the last one.
Okay.
The last one, which is the Nigerian Tribune. So let's look at the Nigerian Tribune this morning. And FS crisis, EFCC to freeze 1,146 individual company accounts. Account holders accused of illegal forest dealings, terrorism financing, and money laundering. We also have here, my suspension plot tied to 2027, says Ganduje. Page 2 has details. And over 30 Easter advert messages failed compliance test, says Akon. IMF projects growth in sub-Saharan Africa economy to hit 3.8%. And Nigeria's economy has escaped sabotage phase, says Tinubu. Prioritize workers, Nigerians' welfare. Labour tells federal government, says poverty killing workers. On the front street, Labour set to picket airlines over refusal to unionize workers. And they do to pay 70,000 naira minimum wage. Nigeria must spend 10 billion naira, rather $10 billion yearly. till 2034 to revive power sector, says Minister. Senators oppose new tariff regime. That's it on our newspaper headlines this morning. And then we're back to the studio now.
Yes, well, we're being joined with Henry Wednesday. Henry?
Yes.
Yeah, so one more time we welcome you to this studio.
Thank you very much for having me.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there's this very striking brief that's all over the various
pages.
state papers this morning that had to do with fuel scarcity. And we'll take it from the point that it has it. Simply put, fuel scarcity hits more states, as the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, saying that we don't need to be panicking. What's your take quickly?
Well, I saw it coming. It wasn't, I didn't want to say I had a premonition. We're going to get to this day. You know, remember I told you about the fact that from the moment the president had that statement he made at the inauguration, as his inauguration on the 29th of May 2023, when he said the fuel subsidy has been removed without even, you know, getting to sit down and see things for himself. Nigeria has never remained the same again. We have not come back, and we're still not out of the woods yet. So it keeps getting, you know, more grim every day. So I saw this coming. Now the paper says it hits more states. What it goes through, it was Lagos and Abuja that was first of all, you know, that the fuel scarcity, you know, hit. But now it's gradually getting to all states. When I was coming to the studio this morning, I saw a sea of heads. You know, a sea of heads of people who were waiting, pedestrians waiting for transport, maybe the tricycle to be able to come to work.
To work.
Means there are fewer tricycles around, and some of them are in the filling stations for those who have fuel, to buy fuel to dispense for them. While the few ones that are available are selling at exorbitant rate. Now the rate is now ranging between 800, 900, and probably 1,000 some states.
For black
While the black marketers, as usual, how they get the fuel, we can't tell. They are selling for 1,200 and above. So you see, it's a very worrisome situation we found ourselves. But the NNPCL is still saying that there is no cause to panic. And they have 1.5 billion barrels in their stock, and that can last for 30 more days. So why the marketers are accusing them of not supplying? So you see, it's different discordant tunes. NNPCL says they have enough to supply, enough to last for 1 month. The independent marketers or the marketers are saying the NNPCL is not supplying. So we don't know who is actually saying the truth. But the bottom line is that we are the people suffering it. The end users are the ones suffering it. And typical, true to type Nigerians, when a situation like this warrants or, you know, comes up, we want to cash in on such opportunity. I'm talking about filling stations who want to be cutthroats, who want to be Shylocks, and you see them, you know, pretend as if they don't have fuel to dispense. And if they have fuel in all their pumps, they dispense fuel from one pump. And because I think they enjoy having a large, you know, that large queues, you know, the large, you know, making people go through these excruciating pains. But it's unfortunate, the NNPCL has to step up his game. Since he's saying there's enough to go around to last for 30 days, they should do what they can to ensure that whatever lapses or whatever problems that is ensuring causing this fuel scarcity to be resolved. But I think it didn't just start today, because like I said, Lagos and Abuja have been having this issue for some weeks now. We didn't hear it because it was just Lagos. Now it has crept to some states, including Delta. And if care is not taken, it might be exacerbated and it can get worse. And of course, you know the situation. If there is fuel scarcity, that means there will be increase in terms of transport. There will be further increase in food prices, which we've already seen that's above 33-something% already. So it's not going to be good for the polity. We just hope that the powers that be do what is necessary to cope the situation before it gets so bad.
It has already gotten to its peak, because if you go to most of the filling stations in Asaba now, not all of them,
of course,
are even selling.
They are holding theirs. Even those who have, they are holding theirs. To see when this one will finish, so that they will be the ones that can now sell at whatever rate.
But you also said something that they are selling a fuel. We used to buy 600. It was 5 something, 600, we're buying 680, we're
It
buying
is so.
700.
It is so because you don't have enough supply. That's what the marketers are saying, and that's the reason for the increase. If you don't have enough supply, you want to hold the one you have and sell at whatever rate to make ends meet, or probably the rate in which you are getting it. But it's not normal.
Now, see the irony of it.
Yes.
When you go to NNPC filling stations, I went there yesterday. They sell 591, which is way cheaper than what we buy outside.
Okay.
But now, the issue
You
there
didn't
is
queue
that-
up. You didn't stay on the queue.
Of course, the issue there is that to gain access becomes a problem.
That's
So
what
it
we're
means
saying.
that you're going to wake up at 1 a.m. to start queuing on the express. And you know how risky that is.
And there's
So
no
why are we not
guarantee.
having more of those filling stations, the NNPCL filling stations? Let's say we have like 5, 6, 7, or even 10 in Delta State. I mean, Asaba, the state capital. We should have over 10 NNPCL filling stations around that can serve.
I can
the
tell
purpose.
you for free, even if we're having discordant tunes, that those NNPCL stations you're talking about, the subsidiaries, may have this product. Just the same thing I'm saying. They may have this product, they are hoarding it. The point is now left for those who are responsible to ensure you go to these filling stations and find out from them if they have this product. And if you have it, you're not dispensing it. They should dispense it. That's happened before. They will now dispense it on their behalf. And when you do that to 1 or 2 filling stations, they will wake up. I am telling you that these filling stations may have this product, but they are hoarding it for their own personal gains.
All right, I don't know if we're talking about fuel issue, because I mean, we need fuel for everything. We need that product for everything. The average businessman in this country needs to power his or her
Households.
generating sets to do business.
Households.
And you know, so at the at the end of the day, the impact is telling on the common man. Because
Yes,
I told you before,
the common man is the end user.
it's the end user.
The guy who uses generator. Because if you go to the filling stations, you find out that those who come with jerry cans are even more than those that come with cars. And that's the common man.
I don't want to have a headache this early morning. God will supply.
You understand?
I mean,
There are people who use it for business, like
we've
those,
gone
the
through
woman
that,
grinding,
right? Now-
woman grinding corn and
Corn.
stuff needs the fuel to power stuff. The man, the
Yes,
vulcanizer
now.
needs
Yes,
fuel
now.
to
To
power
power
it.
is,
So
that's why I say the end
it
users
affects
who
big
come,
businesses and
those who come with
households.
jerry cans, not even cars. People who use cars can afford to park their vehicles.
I
and
use
go
what now?
tricycle.
I use tricycle that is.
Tricycle also still
Eh?
look for fuel too.
They will look for fuel and they will increase their fare.
Nobody's
So coming
spared.
to work is not even
what I'm
easy.
trying to say is, the guy who has a car might say, okay, let me ease myself of the tension.
Okay.
You understand? While the tricycle man bears the brunt, makes his money by upscaling his fare, you know, and the bourgeois, like I always want to use the word, will say, okay, I can manage it for a while.
Anyway, let's just hope that this will not develop to another scarcity, fuel scarcity. You know, we've experienced this before. It's not like it's no longer news to us. Just that we're hoping that things get better. That's our hope. All right, talking about things that are still increasing by the day. DSTV, GoTV rates hike. Tribunal stops multi-choice. You think that there are business people, business owners, they want to make profits as well. So stopping them, is it a right or an abuse of power? Yes, so
You know, the thing is very lugubrious. When I'm laughing, it just brings to mind some of the hashtags and all that you've seen on social media recently about boycotting DSTV and GoTV. I will stop, stuff like that. Of course, within their right to do that. I, for one, started with Premium, and when I saw the economic situation of my pocket, I reduced to Compact Plus. From Compact Plus, I came to Compact. From Compact, I went to, what's it called now, Confirm. I think I'm currently on Confirm. And I'm considering now whether to go to Yanga or Paddy, as a kid, or not even go at all.
No, because how many of the stations can you...
Wait, I'm coming to that. Now, one, I don't get all the time in the world. I spend almost the time in the office outside. I come back home so tired, and probably I spend just 2 hours, before I go to bed. And out of that 2 hours, I don't have electricity, no power supply to power. I have to now power my gen with money. And like you said, I cannot watch more than one station. Maybe my wife watch
At
Z
a
World, and I will watch
And the kids
probably
want to
news.
do-
The
the
kids
kids
want to
want
watch
to do
cartoons and the rest of it. At the time, I was doing dual view, but when I saw the money, I had to reduce it to single view. So that is wisdom for you.
It's profitable.
So you begin to ask yourself, we are suffering. And a couple of months ago, there was an increase in this tariff for this pay TV, as the case may be. Now another increase. The problem is even the increase is arbitrary. We are besieged with increase in electricity tariff. There's fuel scarcity. We are faced with a decline in our naira, food scarcity, inflation rate, and the rest of them. I mean, food increase in price of food and the rest of them. So we're besieged with a plethora of problems. So you can imagine why people are angry at the whole situation. Now, yes, they are business oriented, quite right. Some other papers are saying they have the right to fix their prices. And if you look at it the other way around, what is the ease of them doing business in Nigeria? Now they have to power their generators too to be able to do certain things. And the price of things are really going up. And they have to meet the demands of those who depend on them. They have workers who they take care of and the rest of them. But we begin to ask ourselves, that's why I put the blame on the Nigerian government. For any business that wants to come into Nigeria, there are things you need to ensure that the people are able to do their business, have that ease of doing business. And there are certain parameters you put in place. That being said, I am against this monopoly. And that is why I say the Nigerian government is complicit in this whole thing. And that's why Nigerians are tired. If you go to South Africa that has this multi-choice, they do by pay as you go. Like you were talking about some stations. What am I going to do with a station that speaks Portuguese? What am I doing to a station that speaks French? And these are things that I would, how many stations? What am I doing with multiplicity of stations? Give me the stations I want. If I want 5 stations, give me the 5 stations. Let me pay for my 5 stations. Let it be as pay as you go. It can be done. If it's done in South Africa, it can be done in Nigeria.
Achievable.
So, and Nigeria has one of the large markets of this DSTV or multi-choice.
Yes.
How come we are not paying more?
Virtually everywhere.
Yes, how come we are paying more? Because if the Nigerian market pulls out of this multi-choice, I believe their DSTV will have issues. So it's high time. Like just like the Senate has invited the Power Minister and others to come over this issue, they should go beyond inviting them, but we ensure that these people should be told on what to do. Now the other time, TSTV, there's another TV that wanted to come up with this pay as you go. What did they do? They killed it. They killed it because of self-interest, because of their personal aggrandizement. So I say this issue, if people say they want to boycott DSTV and GoTV, I totally support that idea. I think that's the way to go.
So
because
which should we watch then? Because we need to be
when
abreast.
there was no GoTV and
Star
DSTV,
Times.
were you not watching television? So what we are saying is, one, they should break that monopoly of the DSTV and multi-choice, as it were. Get other stations, support
watch
them.
Watch DBS.
Of course, why can't you watch DBS? They have beautiful programs. DBS is doing well.
You can even watch on the go. So you don't need to stay at home.
DBS now is now online. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook.
You see?
So we have interesting programs. I was watching one before I came to the studio.
Exactly.
So what we are still seeing when we're growing up, was it not so? We wake
It
up,
was.
we just get up 4 o'clock, with the whatever, and at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you watch. But what we are saying is, one of the issues now is to break the monopoly of multi-choice by allowing other TV base stations to be able to operate. If there is competition, just like you had MTN that had the monopoly until Glo came, and you discover that it broke the monopoly of MTN. MTN had to cut down on price. You know how much you bought your SIM. I bought my SIM about 20-something thousand naira. And you know how it was then until Glo came. So these are the kind of things we need in this sector to ensure that we break the monopoly of DSTV. So the federal government has a lot of work to do. And I see them being complicit in this whole thing. And this is not the end of it. If nothing is done about it, just give it the next couple of months, there will be another increase.
Yeah, obviously. All right, away from that story, now you mentioned the electricity, the House of Assembly, Federal House of Senate rather, invited them, and then they queried them and saying that they don't have, they should halt the increase in the new tariff. That, of course, majority of Nigerians, even those in the band A that they are saying they are going to increase arbitrarily, that they don't even have the steady power supply that they are, claiming that they have. So I don't know where we're headed now in terms of electricity. First, We don't even have it. We can't see it. Then the people who say, okay, ban A to ban E, pay so amount. Where is the? I remember they used to be 33 line. That's what we call it in our
33 kVA.
33 kVA. But right now, I think the other 3 is gone because they no longer have.
There's only 3 that is left.
It's only 3 that is left. And then you can imagine people who are on band E or band whatever band again that is available that was suffering. We can say 2 weeks, no power, and yet they're charging. So, I mean, someone, calling them, inviting them over to talk about this thing and telling them to halt, is that the way forward?
I think it's timely to invite them. But my only concern is part of the oversight function to invite ministries, departments, and agencies of government from time to time to ask them and to question them on the activities and anything they find they're not comfortable with, to be able to tell them this is the way to go. It's okay. My concern shouldn't just stop there. Now, the Power Minister Adelabo was trying to explain the fact that the federal government cannot continue to pay subsidy, which amounts to about 3 trillion naira for electricity subsidy. And the senators were angry and saying that the discos have not met up to their expectations. Many of them are in debt, huge debts being owed by banks, and some of them, AMCON is they have been submitted to AMCOM. AMCOM is taking charge of some of them. So they over the years, they have been inefficient, and so they are trying to rip off Nigerians. Now, we're talking about this band now. You have the band A, B, C, D, E. Ordinarily by the chart, band E is you are supposed to have 4 hours of uninterrupted power supply. Band D, you're supposed to have 8 hours. You have the band C that is supposed to be 12 hours. Band B is supposed to be 16 hours of uninterrupted. Then the band A is 20 hours of uninterrupted.
20 hours?
Yes, 20 hours. Now I ask myself, I don't even know if I'm bandless. As it stands,
bandless.
if I must use the word.
Okay,
let's assume that I'm in band E. Okay. I can tell you for free, right here, without fear of contradiction, that I don't even have up to 30 minutes of light in a day. Not to talk about 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. So how can you begin to say you are increasing the tariff price and people are not even getting power for what they are paying for? That is the annoying aspect. Now that for band A, you're saying 20 hours of uninterrupted, and you have increased their tariff from 66 naira to 225. See the difference for a kilowatt of power. So the point now is, how can you be paying for something you are not getting? Like you use the word, you're not paying for darkness. So I think it's preposterous. It is callous. It's fiendish for them to propose an electricity fuel hike. It's only aimed at ripping Nigerians off, despite the seeming plethora of problems facing us, and they're adding to it. Now, the Electricity Act 2023 clearly states that any rate that is being given should be just, equitable, fair, and reasonable. But as it stands now, if you ask yourself, it goes against the tenets of the Electricity Act 2023. You remember the NEROC, Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, formed under the Obasanjo administration in 2005, was meant to be able to regulate the companies that have to do with transmission, distribution, and of electricity power. But you can see over the years, the discos have failed in their responsibilities, and now it's as if they are trying to just maximize profit to the detriment of Nigerians. So I stand with the Nigerian Senate in trying to say no, but my concern is, like we've seen in the past, it shouldn't just end in public hearing, organizing public hearing, inviting the Minister of Power, inviting the discos, and then inviting the agencies of government like the NEROC to come and talk. The situation should be, for now, this hike should be halted because it's not good for Nigeria. It's ill-timed.
Really ill-timed.
Yes, it's actually okay. Let's take this one, the abuse of office, as alleged on the Mayfella. Now he's challenging the court's jurisdiction. Yesterday he challenged the jurisdiction of Adikeja Special Offense Court to hear the alleged abuse of office and multi-billion-dollar fraud leveled against him. Does it really have that? Is it really legal
Yes, he has the right.
Okay.
As a citizen of Nigeria, if you're being charges are brought against you, you have a right to defend yourself. So he also has a right, through his legal counsel, to demand that the court has no jurisdiction to hear that particular case. He's not saying the case should be thrown out. He's just saying that the court does not have jurisdiction to hear that case. It's a liberty, just like we had the issue of Yahya Bello that I talked about, his enforcement of his fundamental human right. If you look at section 46 of the 99 Constitution, it says, if you feel threatened or you allege that anybody wants to, infringe on your fundamental human right, you can seek for the enforcement of your fundamental human right. So as citizens of this country, we have a right. So even if he's in incarceration, he has a right through his legal counsel to also demand that the court does not have jurisdiction to be able to hear, that particular case of abuse of power. So that's the situation.
All right.
Yes,
So about the labor
Yes.
issue, you know that tomorrow is Labor Day. Tomorrow is Workers' Day, and yesterday you had an interview with them from the state chapter. A lot of promises. They're saying that they need to. The minimum wage should be. We're expecting over 650,000 naira minimum wage. Well, yesterday we saw the governor of Edo State increasing his from 40. In fact, as a matter of fact, as far as I'm concerned, he's the only governor who has implemented the federal government said gave them ultimatum to pay 30,000. As we speak, some states have not even implemented it. They are not paying.
You mean the wage awards?
The wage?
So
No, not even the wage award. The
No,
minimum wage.
no,
not the wage
okay.
awards.
Okay, you mean the old
The old minimum
subsisting?
wage,
Of course,
yes,
it's already
from
old.
18,000
Of course, yes.
to 30, and then he said no 30. Then that was 2 years ago. He increased his to 40,000, and now he's coming to do another one 70,000, which I think that all state governors should also borrow leave from
relate.
him. Yes, but NLC, they are saying we need over 650,000 naira. The federal government should pay it as minimum wage. And when he mentioned this morning, I laughed because I know that for me it's not realistic. But then something huge needs to be done.
By something huge, you mean how many? How many zeros?
I don't know
How
the
many
zeros.
Well,
But-
as far as I'm concerned, I think it's preemptive. I think it's like jumping the gun. It's the second governor to have done that. The Lagos State Governor Sanwo-Olu has already done that. I think the same 70,000, 80,000 or thereabout. I think for me it's preemptive. Why I said it's preemptive is because now there is already a committee, a tripartite committee put in place, comprising of the state governors, the Nigerian Governors Forum, the organized private sector, the NLC, and the TUC. So, and they are yet to come up with a particular figure. Now, the NLC and TUC went to the geopolitical zones and came up with a different figure. That of the South was like more, about 600 and something. South was about 500 and something, and the rest geopolitical zones. So it was now meant for them to come back and have a harmonized figure. Now, all the figures being pointed out, they're all beautiful and good with the prevailing situation we find ourselves, with the fuel increase, with the high inflation rate, the double-digit inflation rate, with the increase in food prices, a declining naira and the rest of them. We can understand that. But the point now is the capacity of the governors of the states to be able to pay, because it's not enough for the federal government to announce X amount of money to pay the federal workers. Will the state government be able to pay? You have discovered that a 30,000 naira minimum wage, not all states have been able to pay. That is one. Two, the willingness of the governors to do so. That is the problem. One is capacity, two is willingness. You may have the capacity, but you do not have the willingness to do that. You give a lot of flimsy flimsy excuses to give or not pay. So I am saying we shouldn't jump the gun.
Right.
Tomorrow is May 1st. Let us await the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to make his pronouncement. I am quite sure he won't be able to make the pronouncement tomorrow. If he makes a pronouncement
Obviously.
tomorrow, it will be like putting the cart before the horse or jumping the gun, because he has set up these committees and the committees have not come up with the harmonized structure. So that's why I said I am against the state governors who are rushing. No matter how you look at it, how beautiful it looks, it's more like a Greek gift. Obaseki is on his way out.
Yeah.
He's just playing to the gallery as far as I'm concerned. And the elections are by September. I think he's in a way trying to buy the votes of the
Workers.
So
Dolites.
the PDP.
So I totally disagree with the 70,000 minimum wage. Is being preemptive. We should wait for the necessary committees, the tripartite committee that have been saddled with such
So how
responsibility to do that.
long are we going to
It
wait
doesn't
for?
matter how long. The most important thing, exactly, yes. The most important thing is to come up with something that the organized private sector can pay,
Yeah.
Okay.
the federal government can pay, the state governors can pay. So nobody will give any excuse of not being able to pay that money. So that if a state is not able to pay, you can now picket the state and say, yes, we agreed on this and you're not. And it is a product of the law. Of course, you know. And from the last minimum wage, because there's a minimum wage bill,
Yes.
it's going to expire in April of this year. That means even if it extends to December before they come to reach, you can pay arrears from the moment the new bill takes effect. Of course, the new bill will take effect from April 1st of this year. So it is better late than never. Let them settle down and come up with a bill. We are not in a rush. But of course, it can never be less than, even the 70,000 they are proposing is not even enough.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
That's it,
Mr. Henry
Henry
Wanze.
Wanze. You've actually spoken to the conversation this morning. I think that's where we drop it, so that we can also look at other issues. We thank you so much for your support, as well as making sure the program.
My
succeeds.
pleasure.
Thank you. All right, we'll take a break immediately, and then when we come back, it will be yet another spot on Morning Ride. This morning, stay with us. We'll be right back.
And happy Workers' Day in advance.
Of
to
course,
Henry
Of
Wanze.
course. Hope you'll be at St. Patrick's.
Is this St. Patrick?
No, sorry, the Senator.
Okay.
The
Senator.
Senator.
Hopefully, if I'm able to get out of my house with this fuel crisis.
Are you sure?
Exactly.
Sure.
You can use your Legacy Benz. All right, to take a quick break, we'll be right back. Yes, major points. All right, you're welcome back to the studio. And joining us this beautiful Tuesday morning, I have with me two doctors. Three actually, but we have two on the couch this morning. We have Dr. Idote Enyi